Good evening. My name is Jeffrey Johnson, and I'll be talking about keeping students, athletes enrolled at lower performing district. This was a very important district improvement plan for me because I was able to do my internship at a high school that I graduated from and attended from 2010 to 2012 at Pontiac High School. So I was very appreciative, to be able to do this and find a improvement plan that could possibly work out in the future for the school that I used to attend, and bring awareness to a school that needs the athletes and the profound players and student athletes that could help this school continue to thrive. So my goals and objectives for this district improvement plan was to obviously wanted to retain student athletes in the lower performing districts. I wanted to keep our student athletes here in a city that is desperately needing some happiness, in terms of its student athletes, just giving them something to obviously cheer for, the community, giving them something to be happy about in terms of supporting the kids. I thought, with keeping our, student athletes enrolled at Pontiac High School in the district would increase their enrollment rates, and it would give, other parents new to the district, different thoughts in terms of giving their child a Pontiac High School a chance to be able to thrive and see what it has to offer with the new facilities and the new equipment that it has. So it's something that I felt like, could really help the kids in the district and the new kids potentially in the district be able to commit to graduating from a school like this and really change the narrative about Pontiac High School and what it has to offer. The retention rates by gender. So the male athletes at Pontiac High School are retaining, 85%. The female athletes are at 78%. So we do get a good amount of our male athletes to play sports. We are getting quite a bit of our female athletes to play sports. I think the problem in terms of why our female athletes are so low in terms of why it's at 78 is because our female students are more concerned now with the social media aspect of life. So I look at it as being three big reasons of why our female athletes don't attend or play sports anymore. One of which is social media. They rather do content and become influencers versus playing sports. The other is working. They rather be, subjected to having to go out and get a job and provide for themselves, at an early age versus being able to play sports. And the other is not being really active growing up. So they've never really been interested in playing sports because they've never been active in terms of playing sports. With the male side of it at 85%, that is very high. But when I went to the school, I would say that rate was at 100, and it has, continued to go down. I would think a little bit of that has to do with the open door policy in terms of schools being able to allow other kids from other districts being able to come in and attend their school. We lost a lot of kids during open enrollment to West Bloomfield, Lake Orion, Clarkston. So, that really hurt the retention rate of our student athletes because of that open enrollment part of it. But I believe that, we can get these rates higher, obviously continuing, to put things in place. So later on, you'll hear me talk more about the action plan and what it is that we'll be implementing going forward that we'll be able to keep these rates at where they're at, and if not improve on them going forward. So we'll talk about the retention by the socioeconomic status. So obviously the high income kids retention rate is the strongest, obviously because their household is strong. They have the income to be able to support their kids in terms of being a student athlete. The support is there in terms of being able to get them to practice, and obviously showing up to the game. At the middle income retention rate, obviously you still have that support there, and you still have the parents that are obviously able to be involved in terms of also helping out as well. So that middle and high income is very strong in terms of that support system, which allows them to have a higher success rate in terms of retaining their student athletes. Now, when you talk about the low income athletes, they face a lot of challenges. So, being at Pontiac High School, our kids face a lot of challenges from getting to practice, getting home to practice, as well as school-wise, just getting eligible, getting support from family members as well, in terms of feeling like they have support, with the sport that they're playing. So they face a lot of economic challenges as well, not having the money to be able to afford sporting equipment. So obviously they're told, more often than not, that they have to go get a job versus obviously playing a sport. So they're impacted by many different things that affect their lives daily, in which sports is put on the back burner in terms of them being able to make something of themselves, which, as you can see from the middle income retention rate and the high income retention rate, is stronger because those kids have less to deal with in their household, and they're able to focus more on the school aspect of it and the sports aspect of it, and just obviously being a kid. So those lower income, they face obviously a good amount of challenges that keeps them from just focusing on school and just being an athlete. So the retention by race is something that I looked at a lot. So obviously you see by this graph and see in terms of the retention rate by race. When we talk about Pontiac, we talk about a school that is predominantly black and Hispanic, and so there are not many white and Asian students there. So this is a predominantly black and Hispanic school. A lot of the black kids do play sports, but there are many of them that don't play sports because of not previously playing sports and also not being interested in sports, as well as the Hispanics. They do play sports, but the only sport that they feel capable of playing for the most part is soccer. So we do get some Hispanic kids that have tried out for football. I think currently we have 2 Hispanic kids on our team that have came out. We're obviously trying to get more kids to come out, but Hispanic kids do come and try out for football, and we're very welcoming of the different races who want to come out and play football. But obviously our team is made up of mostly black kids, and those kids are obviously better athletes, but obviously we welcome all kids. So if we did have white kids or Asian kids, obviously anyone that's interested in terms of being on the football team and wanting to just be a part of that team aspect of it, we want them to be able to have the chance to come out. So obviously the black kids love playing sports, not to say that the other races don't, but when it comes to a sport like football that I coach, I always get with a school like Pontiac, we're gonna get mostly black kids that are mainly gonna come out, and then we may of course get some Hispanic kids that will come out as well. So the school district finances impact our children in our district is impacted finance-wise by many different things. The household income is usually not a lot in the lower performing district. They are usually either one parent, they're either living with one parent, mom, or they're living with another parent, dad, or they're living with, a relative or grandparent of some sort. So they have to basically, work as much as they can to make ends meet, which is very difficult on terms of them as individuals and being able to concentrate on the sports they choose to want to play. That is also crucial because I think that it takes away from their ability to learn on how sports can impact them. So obviously from this slide, you'll be able to see the revenue and the spending per student that the school district gets. But obviously if we're not getting the enrollment that we're obviously supposed to get, then we won't get the revenue that we're supposed to get in terms of per student. So obviously retaining our student athletes and keeping those students there is a big help towards the school district finances impact and being able to get the school more money. So our goal is obviously to keep as many kids in the district as possible when it comes to sports, so that the school can get more money for each student, and we can use that money to obviously get more help in terms of more coaches, better facilities, better equipment for obviously the players that want to stay. So the key stakeholders, obviously the students and parents, the school staff and coaches, the community members, the local businesses and organizations. So the thing that we pride ourselves on is trying to reach out more in the community and being able to collaborate with local businesses for sponsorships so that we can obviously get these kids sponsored and they don't have to come out of pocket for equipment, whether that's equipment or food or bus transportation. We just want to obviously give them as many resources as we can. So we do send out surveys and get feedback from the players and from the parents on what it is that we can try to do as coaches and as a staff to be able to help these kids in terms of keeping them engaged and keeping them ahead of the curve in terms of the local support from the outside the school and helping them to get notarized more. So we want to talk to the people in the community, we want to talk to the local businesses, and obviously we want to just talk to the staff. So we want to continue to put our heads together to keep coming up with different strategies, also attending town hall meetings, anything that we can shine light on the student athletes and getting them more notarized, and even social media, if that also ends using our social media page and giving allowing these kids to be posted more on social media in terms of showing their highlights and being able to use social media as a tool to get them recognized and just bring awareness to what we are trying to do as a staff. So we want to, build short-term actions and long-term actions. So with the short-term actions, we want to obviously stay on top of them in terms of the academics. We want to be able to enhance the communication and awareness. We want them to be able to have tutoring at their exposure in season and out of season. We don't just want them to feel like, when they're in season, that the grades matter in season just to be eligible, because they also matter outside of the season. We do have students that will, during the season, they'll keep their grades up. But the moment that the season is over and they're not playing another sport, that their grades will then continue to dip. So we want to stay on them and continue to support them in terms of keeping their grades up and making sure that they are aware that, hey, you need to keep your grades up to obviously be eligible, but to be most important, so that if colleges do come calling and knocking at your door, that you have the ability to be able to accept scholarships or be able to apply for different grants that can help pay for your education. So long-term goals, we obviously want to continue to improve the athletic fields. We want to obviously continue to make sure that we're studying and paying attention to the right equipment so that we have, we're keeping them safe. We obviously want to continue the academic support, continuing with the tutoring, continuing with the after-school help, continuing with the credit recovery, which is allowing students to get caught back up if they have failed a class or for whatever reason was not able to pass a previous class before. Then we are offering credit recovery as a chance for them to pick that class back up and get caught up to be able to graduate on time. And obviously we just want to continue to promote a good culture. We want to let obviously all the people in the community, let them know that we are here to make change. We're here to get these kids on the right path. We're here to develop relationships with the people in the community, and all of us just support each other. We're here to have these kids back. And like I said, we just want to make sure that we're continuing to grow as a school and we're continuing to grow as a community. So always, we obviously want to continue to assess the needs of the program. We always want to see what it is that we can do tutoring-wise to help the athletes. We always want to obviously check to make sure that everything is up to date in terms of equipment, academic support. We just want to make sure that all our ducks in a row when we are targeting new student athletes and parents that are new to the district. We want to have a plan in place for them to be able to see what it is that we have to offer as a school and as a football team to be able to get more kids over, to let them know that, hey, we are serious about change. We are serious about trying to change the narrative, and we are here to make sure that we get the best out of our student athletes. So obviously, with the communication plan, we want to be able to use social media, the school website and newsletter. I like to focus on the social media aspect of it because social media is important to these kids. It's a big thing nowadays. So we've created a Facebook page as well as an Instagram page for the kids to be able to post their highlights on. They obviously get to see that. Different coaches get to see that. So there's a way for them to be able to get their highlights out there and also get recruited. So that is big for us, and the kids love that aspect of being able to see themselves on social media and showing what it is that they're able to do on the football field. So we obviously always ask for evaluation and feedback from the students, from the parents, and then the community. We always want to see what it is that we can do better. We always want to pass out different surveys, get out here and talk to them to let them know, hey, we're here again to see these kids thrive, but we want to always know what it is that we can do better. We want to know what it is that the kids are maybe communicating with them about, so that they can then talk to us, so that we feel like it's an open door policy. We want these kids to obviously build upon their success and make sure that they have continued academic performance improvement. And we want to obviously just continue to boost the community support and engagement. And the only way we do that is obviously getting out here and talking to people in the community and making sure that, hey, we are spending time with them and letting them know, hey, we value your feedback as well. So just going over this a little bit, the marketing plan in terms of just obviously targeting new parents in the district and just promoting, how we are as a culture and what we are doing to obviously build up the success of the kids, the engagement, the phrases and things that we are using that the kids can use. So this is, a great tool because obviously, again, we want to continue to market, and that's a big thing in terms of getting it out to new parents in the district. So we want them to be able to get them interested in what it is that we have to offer. So again, I was just very thankful to be able to do this at my high school again. I'm just extremely proud of the student athletes that I have at the school and the amount of work that they're put in. And like I said, it was a joy for me to do this project, at a high school that I graduated at. So thank you guys.